All right. Welcome, everybody, to the next game in the 1987 American League replay, full playthrough American League in Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced. We have progressed now on to the April the 25th date, and that brings us to first game to be played April 25th. That is Kansas City at Detroit. Kind of a decent pitching matchup. Mark Gubicza for the Royals against Jack Morris for the Tigers. Got our dice here, and let me bring everything up on the computer so I can see what you guys are seeing. And that way we'll be ready to go. I am going to be making it, or at least I'm going to attempt to make a change to the way I do videos very shortly. So not sure how it's going to go, but we'll try it. But for now, we're still doing what I've been doing all along. But that may change depending on a couple of things. It's possible. So we will see. Let's get this up and running so that I can see what you guys are seeing. I know it's rather impromptu. I didn't give any advance warning. Hello, Ben. How are you doing? So let's see what you guys are seeing here. Looks like it's a little bit on the slanted side, but I think everything fits fairly well. Let me make sure the lens is not doing anything weird. So I think that's about as good as I'm going to be able to get it. May need to lower this just a hair, but I think that pretty much is going to fit everything. I want to make sure I have room in the later innings as well. So, like I said, this is the oh, interesting. I know Inside Sports. I like Inside Pitch. I've never played any of the other games. I'm not a big basketball guy, so I wouldn't care for basketball no matter who made it. I heard Replay makes a good basketball game, but I'm just not. I mean, I follow college a little bit, but the NBA I could care less. What can I say? I'm a baseball guy. I mean, I don't play any other sports basically other than baseball on the tabletop. Have done a couple football games on the computer, but nothing major. All right. So the Kansas City Royals enter this game 7-8. Detroit enters 6-9. That's exactly correct, Ben. That's exactly correct. Hello, RJL. How are you doing? Robert, I wasn't sure. I know sometimes you stream on Sunday mornings and sometimes you stream on Sunday nights, so I'm not sure. I wasn't sure which schedule you were doing, so I just had to pick a time that I could fit it in for myself, so that's what I'm doing. Let's see, ballpark effects for Tiger Stadium. Singles are not too good. 2 for lefties, 1 for righties, but home runs is where it gets savory. 14 for lefties, 11 for righties. You're back to Sunday nights. Okay, good. Then that's why I'm glad I did it this way then. All right, for Morris, the wild pitch range an 18, balks a 2. For Gubicza, 12 for wild pitch, balk 2. Pitcher, catcher, hold. Neither one of them are very good. Morris is a +2. And then the catcher, Noakes, is a +1 for a total of +3. Gubicza is a +1, and so is Quirk a +1, makes him a +2. One notable roster move by Detroit. Bill Bean has been called up. No, this is not the Billy Bean of Moneyball. This is a different Billy Bean. He is called up and playing left field, hitting leadoff in this game. This will be his first action of the season. Got our dice. They're both basically the same type colors, so I really couldn't differentiate. I could have used an orange one for Detroit, but at home they don't wear orange, so I didn't think that would be necessarily, the greatest thing in the world. Hello, Jeremy. How you doing? All right. So I think I've got everything fit in here the best I can do it. One thing I do need to do is bring the game up on the Strat computer so I can score it as it's being played and also provide stats on how the players are doing up to this point. I know it's early still, but still like to. It's kind of fun to hear the progression as they go. So if ID Jester ever, if he manages to come in, his favorite pitcher, Gubicza, is going to be taking the mound at the bottom of the first. All right, so Angels have a weird lineup. Willie Wilson is not in this game. He is on the bench available, but he's not starting. So they have bumped Angel Salazar to the leadoff spot, which is very, very weird, but that's just the way they did it. So there's your lineup. Salazar, Seitzer, White, Orta, Beniquez, Tartable, Jackson, Balboni, and Quirk for the Royals. Bean, Sheridan, Noakes, Trammell, Evans, Coles, Bergman, Lemon, and Brookins for the Tigers. Catcher T rating on Quirk is a 3. His pass ball rating is a 6. For Noakes, his T is a 7. His pass ball is a 3. So I think now that kind of gets everything up to speed. Jack Morris has had a rough go of it. He's 0-3 with a .595 earned run average. 20 innings pitched, 21 hits, 9 walks, and 15 strikeouts. So he's definitely looking to get that first win of the season. But we'll see how it goes. We're underway. 6-7 right-handed. That's a 1-7 single. That's a 3. So Salazar, a leadoff single, and Salazar was hitting 286, a homer and 2 runs driven in. He's hitting a little bit better than 286 now with that leadoff single. He does have an asterisk, so they will have to hold him on. If he gets the lead, it would be a 15. 2 for being held would be a 13, but then you'd have the +3 for a 16. So they could try to get the lead, but if he rolls a 10 or 11, he's automatically out. But I think that's worth a gamble. So they're going to try to get that lead. It's a 4. He does not get the lead. That's a 2 or a 6 through 8, so there's no lead to worry about. So Salazar will be held there at first base, but cannot get the good lead. And that'll bring up Kevin Seitzer. He is at third base in this game, and with Brett being injured. So he's hitting 263, a homer and 5 driven in. That's a 2-8, and that's the ground ball shortstop A. That'll be a 6-4-3 double play, just what the doctor ordered. Two quick outs, and that'll bring up the veteran Frank White, second baseman. White is hitting a .190, really struggling. 2 homers, 5 driven in. That's a 6-11 from Morris. That's a ground ball first base X. First baseman is Bergman. He's a 2. It's a pretty good first baseman. But 2-2 is not going to cut it. That's a base hit. It sneaks by him. Check the error. He's an E12. He's got to avoid 3, 6, 9, 15, and 18, which he does. But it's going to sneak through for a base hit. And now how big was that double play? So Frank White singles, he will not be held. And that'll bring up the designated hitter George Orta. Limited duty, Orta is 0 for 4. He's only started 1 game. He went 0 for 4. So he's going to try to get off the schneid. Nothing on the havoc. 2-4. 2-4 is a line out to third. And that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Royals in the first. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Kansas City nothing, and the Tigers coming to bat. And Mr. Gubicza, or Gubicza, however you want to pronounce it, will be on the mound for the Royals. He's 1-1 with an ERA of 3.80. This will be his 4th start. He's gone 21 innings, 23 hits, 3 walks, 16 strikeouts. Might be his 3rd start, but I think it's his 4th start. But it could be his 3rd start. I don't know off the top of my head. In fact, I can find out real quick on the computer. See what his stats are showing. This will be his 3rd start. Okay. So there we go. So he's averaging 7 innings a start, which is good. Gives him some length. And here's Billy Beane. First at bat of the season for Billy Beane. And like I said, this is not the Moneyball Billy Beane. This is a different Billy Beane. 3-9, and he's going to ground it to second base, where Frank White puts it away, 1 down. So Beane is retired. And that brings up left-handed hitting Pat Sheridan, the right fielder. Sheridan's hitting .304, a homer, and 1 run driven in. That's a 2-7, and he's going to strike out. So Gubicza, I keep wanting to call him Gubicza just because of ID, but really probably need to stick with his real name. All right, so here's Matt Noakes. He's hitting .286, but he does have 7 home runs and 42 at-bats, 16 runs driven in. 2-8 for Noakes, and that's a ground ball to first. Easy play for Balboni. He makes the trot over to first, and that's going to be an easy 1-2-3 inning for Mark Gubicza. And after 1 inning to play, we got nothing going on here at Tiger Stadium. Let's see. Whoops. Let's see something here. Bring this up. All right. All right. 2002 and 2005 this week. That's interesting. Very interesting. I'm not going to get it right away because I don't have time to use it, but I will eventually get it. Hello, Craig. How you doing? I may wait, let you get it, check it out, make sure there's no errors, see if there's any printing errors that need to be corrected or whatever, and then maybe get the finished product later this summer. We'll see how that goes. All right, so we go to the top of the second, and leading off will be Mr. Juan Beniquez against Jack Morris. Beniquez is playing center field in this game because Willie Wilson's getting the day off. He's not injured. He's just getting the day off. But he's a 4 in center field. That's very dangerous to have 4 rated outfielders in center field. Beniquez is hitting .333, a homer and 9 driven in. 212, and that's a line out to third max plus injury. So how about that? It could be where Beniquez might be coming out of this game, and Willie Wilson might not get the game off after all, because Beniquez very likely is going to be out of this ball game. The only way he avoids an injury, according to the injury chart, is to roll a 1 through 4 on the D20. Anything 5 or higher, he's got to come out. It's a 1, so Beniquez can stay in. He fought it off. How about that? Beniquez toughing it out, and he will stay in the game. And here's Danny Tartable. He's hitting .237, 3 homers, 8 driven in. It's a 3-6 for Tartable, and that's a solid home run. There it is, right there. 3-6 in big bold letters, home run. No D20 checks, no ballpark checks to worry about. It's a straight-up Danny Tartable blast. That's home run number 4, RBI number 9. And the Royals take the 1-run lead. Danny Tartable gets the scoring started with his 4th home run of the season off of Jack Morris. And for Morris, that is his 8th home run he has allowed in just 21 innings. So he's been bitten by the gopher ball more than one occasion. Here's Bo Nose. He's hitting .281, a home run, 8 driven in. 6-6 to the right-hander. That's a 1-3 double. That's a 13, so it's a single for Bo. So he follows the home run with a single. He needs a 6 or a 7 to get the lead. He gets the lead, so Bo Jackson will be going off on a steal. 16, being held makes him a 14, but the +3 is a 17. So 1-17, he steals it. And it's a 2. It's a stolen base plus a possible throwing error on the catcher, Noakes. His T rating is a 7. Now, he's not throwing in center field. It is going to be snagged by the second baseman, Brookins, to keep that from happening. But it is a stolen base for Bo. He does steal second base. He's in scoring position where he will be held running at a 17. And Steve Bye-Bye Balboni is your batter. Bye-Bye is hitting .157, 3 homers, 5 driven in 51 at-bats. 1-8, and he's going to go bye-bye on another strikeout right here. That's out number 2. 2 down, and it's a clutch situation for Jamie Minnick Quirk, the catcher in this game. Quirk hitting .292 in 24 at-bats. No homers, 2 runs driven in. Morris, 2-5 to Quirk, and that's a ground ball to second. And that's going to end the inning. But the home run from Tartable puts the Royals on the board. Go to the bottom of the second. It's 1-0 Kansas City. Gubicza has been given a lead to protect. And he's going to be facing Alan Trammell, leading things off here in the cleanup spot for the Tigers. Trammell, in limited duty, is hitting .350 in just 20 at-bats. He had been injured for much of April. But in 20 at-bats, he's hitting .350, a homer, and 3 driven in. That's a 6-5, and that's a strikeout. Gubicza gets him. 1 away, and that's going to send up Darrell Evans. He is doing the designated hitting in this game. He's hitting a .189, 3 homers, 5 driven in. 111, and he's going to fly to center, and that's Beniquez. 2 down. So Gubicza off to a good start. Here's Darnell Coles, third baseman. And Coles will be hitting 186 in 59 at bats. He's really struggling. A homer and 9 driven in. 6-8, and that's a 1-12 single. That's a 1, so it will be a base hit for Darnell Coles. Coles only hit 181 on the real world, so 186 is about right. Of course, that just went up with this base hit. And that brings up Bergman, first baseman. Dave Bergman has a limited duty in 16 at bats. He's hitting .313, no homers and 3 driven in. 2, that's a chance of a balk or a pass ball. We're checking the pass ball rating of Jamie Quirk, which is a 6. 1-6, we have a pass ball. We do not. He blocks it, so Bergman stands back in. 3-4, and it's a ground ball to short. And since it's an A, I'll call it a 6-4 fielder's choice to end the inning. Nothing doing for the Tigers in the second. We play 2 from Detroit. Kansas City leads at 1-0. 1-0, and we're back to the top of the order for the Angels with Angel Salazar. Hello, Astros Reefer and Gerald Carmine. Good to see you guys. Let's see here. This might need to come down just a speck. Make sure focus is okay. I don't want any focus problems. We can avoid it. I don't think there are, but never hurts to double check it. All right. My eyesight's not that good, so I can't, even though I'm looking on my laptop, it still may not be exactly what you guys are seeing. So we'll play it by ear. All right, so Angel Salazar will lead off. He singled and was a race on a double play his first time up. 3-9 for Salazar. He's going to ground it to third. Darnell Coles will put that away. Quickly one away. And that will take us to Kevin Seitzer. He hit into that double play his first time up. Morris trying to get his first win, but he's behind 1-0 early. 4-7, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. That's Trammell. Trammell's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. It's an E21 he's got to worry about. And on the E21, he has to avoid 6, 15, and 17. And that is a 12, so he's good to go. So Trammell handles a tough hop, throws to Bergman. Quickly 2 away for Frank White. He did single his first time up. 4-7, and he's going to ground to short again. Another X chance for Mr. Trammell. It's the same deal. And that is a 14, so that's going to be good all day long, I do believe. 14, and he is an E21. There is no 14. There's a 15, but no 14. So it's good play. 3 ground outs take care of Kansas City rather neatly here in the top of the third. We go to the bottom of the third, 1-0. And that takes us to the bottom of the third here for Chet Lemon. And Lemon on the replay is hitting a .160. He's really having a hard time of it. No homers, 5 driven in. 5-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. And that's going to be Frank White. He's a 2. 2 and an 8 should be good to go. It is a G2, which is good enough. And his error rating is an E11, so he's got to avoid 15, 17, and 18, basically, which he does. So good play for Frank White. 1 down. A lot of X chances early in this game. Here's Tom Brookins. He's subbing for Whitaker, who's not injured. He's just getting the game off. Brookins hitting .324. No homers, 3 driven in. 4-9 for Gubicza, and that's the first walk of the ball game by either pitcher, as Gubicza gives the free pass to Brookins. Brookins can get the lead on a 6 or a 7. He can try to steal on a 6 or a 7. Does not get the lead, so he will hold. And we're back to Billy Bean, Mr. 0 for 1, Billy Bean. That's a 6-4, and that's a catcher X. Catcher is Quirk. He's a 4. 4 and a 3. That could very well be a hit. 4 and a 3. No, it's a W/G. So let's see what happens here. He's an E10. He's got to avoid 12 and 18. Does that. So we go to W/G with a runner on. With runners on, pitcher uncorks a wild pitch. So it is going to be a wild pitch on Gubicza because Quirk couldn't block it. So Brookins will move up into scoring position with 1 out. And Billy Bean still at the plate. 1 chance of another wild pitch for Gubicza. His wild pitch rating is a 12. This could be back-to-back wild pitches. And it is back-to-back wild pitches. I don't know what's going on with Gubicza, but that's back-to-back wild pitches. Puts the runner at third now. So the infield is actually going to have to come in. Infield is now in because of that. 6-8 to the lefty is a 1-10 single. That's an 8. That's going to be a base hit by Billy Bean, and it will tie the score. So those 2 wild pitches definitely come into play, but they count as earned runs. So Billy Bean is on. He will not try to steal. He will not be held. But we are tied at a run apiece, thanks to those wild pitches. Here's Sheridan, 1 out, runner at first. 1-9, that's another walk. That's how this whole thing got started for Gubicza, was walking the leadoff man, which is usually not a good idea. And here's Matt Noakes. Noakes grounded to first his first time up. 4-8, and that's another walk. So Gubicza has walked 3 this inning and given up a hit, which is why the run has come in. Now the bases are loaded. Still only 1 out for Alan Trammell. So Gubicza getting from bad to worse. With rolling the first 2 innings, the 3rd inning has not been the charm. Infield playing for the double play. 5-11 is a ballpark single check. And that's only a 1, though, so that's going to be a line out to short. And that will freeze everybody. And now a clutch situation for Darrell Evans with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Evans on the clutch gains a hit on 110. That's his only clutch rating versus right-handers. Oh, I'm sorry, 1-6. He gets 2 hits. So he's a good clutch hitter. 1-6 or 110, those outs become clutch hits on a 1-6 or a 110. But it's a 5-8, and it's still going to be good to go. 1's a double, anything else is a single. That actually is a 1. How about that? It's a double, 2 stars. So a 2-run double for Darrell Evans in the clutch. And the Tigers now take a 3-1 lead, much to the chagrin of I.D. Jester. But Tabby's very happy about it, being a Tiger fan. All right, here's Darnell Coles. Still in a clutch situation with runners at second and third and 2 outs. 3-9 for Coles. That's a ground ball to short. And Salazar handles it to finally end the inning, but 3 runs for the Tigers. And at the end of 3, it is now 3-1 Detroit. How fortunes have changed. Now it's Jack Morris with the lead. And George Orta, the DH, will be coming up. Brett is injured right now. He's on the injured list, so he's not on the roster. Don't know about... And Kirk Gibson's also injured. He's not on the roster either for Detroit. Neither is Willie Hernandez. So Tigers are playing a little bit shorthanded early in the season. All right, here's Morris, 3-8, and that's a ground ball to third. Darnell Coles handles it, 1 away. For Juan Beniquez, he lined to third his first time up. 5-9, and this is a split chance. 1-4 is a single. That's a 19, though, so he will line it to short. for out number 2. 2 down, and that brings us to Tartable, who homered his first time up for the only run of the game for Kansas City. That's a 5-10, and that's a ballpark single check. He needs a 1. That's a 15. That won't work. So that is another line out to short. It's a 1-2-3 inning, and Jack Morris has established some control back as the Tigers take a 3-1 lead into the bottom of the 4th. So I got to go into the Strat computer and input this inning real quick. Ground out to third, and then consecutive lineouts to short. Now we're ready for the bottom of the 4th, and it's Dave Bergman getting to a fielder's choice his first time up. 1-12, that's a foul out to Jamie Quirk behind the plate. 1 down. Brings up Chet Lemon, center fielder. Brookins on deck. 4-6 to the right-hander is a strikeout. So Gubicza trying to reclaim his first 2 innings of fine pitching, get away from that 3rd inning. Is off to a good start. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Brookins. He started the whole mess with a walk his last time. 2-7, and won't be a walk, but it might be a single. 1-13. That's a 17, though, so he's going to line it to short. And the inning is over. That's one of the downfalls of Strat. If you're keeping defensive stats, you're going to have a whole lot of putouts by the second baseman and shortstop because of all these lineouts on failed ballpark checks. That's the only defensive thing that really kind of irritates me a little bit. I'm thinking about homebrewing something, but I haven't figured it out yet. Right now I'm just going to go with it. Fielding stats are not really, in this replay, is not really what... Well, it is kind of because I'm doing the whole thing, so I want to see how the game does, but it's not as important to me as the batting and pitching stats. So, all right, here is Bo Nose. He singled and stole second his first time up. 2-7 for Bo, and he strikes out. 1 away, and that's going to send up bye-bye Balboni. He struck out his first time. He went bye-bye. 2-9, and he's going to ground it to third this time. Darnell Coles takes care of it. 2 down. Of course, later in the 87 season, the Tigers will acquire Bill Madlock from the Dodgers, and that will certainly help their team as well. Plus getting Gibson back and Willie Hernandez back. I mean, all that stuff will help. 5-9 against Quirk is a strikeout to end the inning. They just have to tread water and not get too far behind Milwaukee. That's their goal for April and May, and then try to make it up in the summertime. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. Gubicza back out. We'll be facing the top of the order. Billy Beane had a big single his first time up, or his last time up, rather. He's 1 for 2. 1-4 for Beane. He's going to fly to center, and Beniquez will handle it for Pat Sheridan. I feel like I got a frog in my throat for some reason. I don't know why. Get some more coffee here. Last cup of the day. 6-9, left-handed is a fly to right. Handled by Tartable, 2 down. For Matt Noakes, one of the many who walked in the 3rd inning. 4-6, and he's going to strike out this time. So Gubicza says, you're not getting a walk this time. So 1-2-3 inning as Gubicza rights the ship a little bit. We go to 6. It's 3-1 Detroit. Tidy game so far, but hopefully that wasn't the curse word to say there, because sometimes you say that and all of a sudden the game takes 2 hours, which I don't have. So I'm trying to get this thing done by 11 o'clock if I can. All right, here's Angel Salazar. 5-5, and that's a strikeout for Morris. 1 away for Kevin Seitzer, and Seitzer has grounded out twice. Both times a short. Once was a double play, once was a regular out. 4-5, and that is a fly to center this time. So Chet Lemon puts it away. 2 quick outs for Frank White. 5-8, and that's another strikeout. So Jack Morris seriously going for this first win of the season. He's tired of being 0-3. So he is looking for a first win to get off the schneid. He's off to a good start. We go to the bottom of the 6th, still 3-1. Next game in the replay on this date will occur in Milwaukee, and it will be the Orioles against the Brewers. It'll be Bill Wegman against Ken Dixon. And, of course, the Brewers are 13-2, so Tigers with the win would improve to 7-9, still put them like 6 or 7 games back. So they got a long way to go, but it is a long season. But they just don't want to get too far behind in the standings. Oops, wrong team. Should be Alan Trammell batting. So Trammell is up against Gubicza. Here to start the bottom of the 6th. Trammell 0 for 2. It's a 3-7. Now he's 0 for 3 as he flies to Beniquez in center. 1 away for Darrell Evans. 2-7, and that's another strikeout. Gubicza records another strikeout, and here's Darnell Coles. 3-10 for Coles, a ballpark single, but it's only a 1 again. So again, but I'm going to keep the ground ball to third this time. I'm not going to change it to a line out to short. I'm going to keep the ground ball to third just to give some variety so there aren't so many line outs, because that does kind of bug me a little bit. All right, 6 innings are in the books. We go to the 7th. Jack Morris, he has a fatigue of 8, so he's good to go. Gubicza has a fatigue of 7, so next inning will be Gubicza's point of weakness inning to keep track of. George Orta will lead off. DH, he's 0 for 2. 3-6 for Orta. He's going to go 0 for 3. Grounds it to Bergman. 1 away. And that will send up Juan Beniquez, center fielder. He is also 0 for 2. He's lined out twice. It's a 1-2. That's a straight-up home run there. No question about it. 1-2 versus right-handed pitching. It is right there. Solid home run. No D20 needed. If it was, that was a 1, so it didn't matter anyway. Home run for Juan Beniquez. And for Beniquez, let me get his totals. Hello, World's Worst. Good to see you. Beniquez now with that home run. That is his 2nd of the season. RBI number 10. Cuts the lead to 3-2. So Morris has given up 2 solo home runs. He's now given up 9 home runs in 26 innings of pitching. So long ball's getting him, but if you can keep it to solo home runs, you still got a chance. Speaking of home runs, here's Tartable. He had his 4th home run back in the 2nd inning. That's a 2-10, and that's a ballpark blast. 1-11. That's a 4. It's back-to-back jacks. Tiger Stadium finally gives up a home run, and that is home run number 5 for Tartable. RBI number 10. Look at it again. 2-10 is a ballpark blast. Home runs are 1-11. That's a 4. So back-to-back blasts, and we're tied at 3. Just that quickly, 2 swings of the bat, and we are tied at 3 apiece. Here's Bo Jackson. 5-7 is a ground ball to second. That will be Brookins, but he's only a 4. 4 and a 5 probably gets through. 4 and a 5 does. It's a base hit. And the error rating's out. E41. That's terrible. E41 and an 8. E41, there is no 8 miraculously, but it will be a base hit for Bo. And he is 2 for 3. And he's going to be looking to steal again. He stole the base back in the 2nd inning. He's going to try to get that lead again. Needs a 6 or a 7 to do so. And he gets it. So Bo will take the steal again. 16 minus 2 for being held is a 14, plus 3 is a 17. 1-17, he will steal it. And he does. Stolen base number 2 on the day for Bo Jackson. Bo no steals. He's in scoring position as the go-ahead run. He will have to be held. And bye-bye Balboni. Here's your batter. Bye-bye is 0 for 2. 4-7, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. That's Trammell. He's a 1. But people on base, we still need to roll this just to see what happens. A 1 and a 1 is a G3, so that means the runner is going to advance to third base. That's why we had to roll that. So G3, and now he is an E21, so he has to avoid 6, 15, and 17 to not make an error. And he does, so it's a 6-3 ground up, but the Bo Jackson, the runner, takes third base. 2 outs and Bo at third now for Jamie Quirk. Clutch situation for Quirk. He will gain a hit on 1-9 and also on 2-6. So good clutch hitter is Jamie Quirk, apparently, at least in Strat-O-Matic's eyes. 2-7, though, is a strikeout, and that will end the inning. But the Royals have tied it with 2 solo home runs, one by Beniquez and one by Tartable. And at the end of 6 1/2, we're at the 7th inning stretch. It is 3-3 here in Tiger Stadium. We are at the 7th inning stretch. And let's see, Gubicza, this will be his fatigue inning, so we've got to keep an eye on him. Coming up, lefty, righty, righty, and a couple lefties, 3 lefties up here. So the Royals only have one left-handed reliever, and that is Bud Black. So they have Bud Black loosening in the bullpen, just in case Gubicza is needing some relief. But it is a 7th inning stretch, so even though I've only been going a little over 35 minutes to get through the 7th inning stretch, I'm going to take a quick, maybe 30-second stretch break, sip some coffee, and then get ready to finish out this ball game. 3-3 tie here at Tiger Stadium. I'm going to stand up here real quick, check everything, make sure the focus is okay. Looks like everything is still in view as far as being able to see the cards if they go this far. So if I have to get to the 9th inning, they should still show up. So we're good to go there. If I put this there for the 9th, then I think you can still see. Yeah, you can still see the card. Okay, so we're good to go there. All right. Dave Bergman will lead off. And we are in the 7th inning, so I'm free to substitute. And it looks like Tom Brookins is going to be called back, and Lou Whitaker, who thought he had the game off, may not have the game off any longer. Might have done it if they were still ahead, but with the score tied, I think Lou Whitaker is going to come in and hit for Tom Brookins. And I know some people might say, hey, what happened to your bullpen and pinch hitting list and all that? But that was when I was doing 1 game a day. But that's just too much printing to do it for every single game, so I gave that up. And I don't think there's a minor drop, any kind of major drop off for that. So it will be Bergman, and then we're going to have Brookins be pinch hit for by Whitaker here in the 7th. And he takes over at second base in the 8th. So that is Whitaker. But first things first, Dave Bergman will lead it off. He's 0 for 2. 4-7 against Gubicza, and it's another walk. If Gubicza starts walking guys, he's going to be in serious trouble. And it's going to also add up to his point of weakness numbers as well. So, Bergman, not a good runner. Don't know if they want to pinch run. Here's who the Tigers have on the bench. They have backup catcher Mercado. They have Johnny Grubb, Mike Heath, Larry Herndon, and Terry Harper. Those are the guys remaining. None of them are good base stealers at all. They're all E's, which means they can't get a jump hardly at all. And Bergman runs at 11. Harper runs at a 14. Grubb runs at a 10, 11, and 12. So there's not a whole lot of stuff there. So I don't think it, especially Bergman's a good defensive first baseman. So I think they're going to keep Bergman on the base paths and not worry about pinch running at the moment. Chet Lemon will step to the plate. He is 0 for 2. Gubicza to Lemon. 1-9, and that's a double to center field. Solid double to center field by Chet Lemon. and Bergman will hold at third base. So now Lou Whitaker has been called, or has been announced rather. And with his announcement of coming into the ball game, that's going to be it for Gubicza. They're going to pull Gubicza and go to Bud Black. So left-handed pitching Bud Black will be coming on to replace Gubicza. Gubicza is going to go 6+, but can't close the book because both runners are his responsibility. Lou Whitaker comes in a nice situation, second and third, nobody out. Infield has to play in. Bud Black, not exactly in an envious position at the moment. So let's bring in, first of all, Lou Whitaker. That's the first move, is Lou Whitaker pinch hitting. And the second move is to bring in Bud Black. Now they're both in here. So Whitaker on the season is struggling. He's hitting .219, 1 homer, 8 runs driven in. Bud Black is 1-1 with a 0.79 earned run average, 11 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 walks, and 7 strikeouts. And the infield will be in. So Lou Whitaker trying to get something to the outfield to bring home a run. 4-10, lefty on lefty, and that's an in-home run chance straight up. And Whitaker has normal power. Look at that, a 3-run blast by the pinch hitter Lou Whitaker. Look at that, a 4-10 is an in-home run to the lefty, and he has normal power. That is a 3-run home run, 3-run pinch hit home run for Lou Whitaker. And that is home run number 2 for Whitaker. That certainly gets him off the schneid. 2 of those runs are charged to Gubicza. So Gubicza is going to give up 5 runs in his outing, all of which were earned. So bad stuff there as Whitaker hits the home run. Now we'll get the official numbers on Gubicza as the book is now closed, but he's on the hook for the loss. Gubicza is going to go 6+, 4 hits, 5 home earned runs, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. So a lot of 4s and 5s on his pitching line. But now it is 6-3 Tigers. And Bill Bean is your batter. But I believe they're going to call back Bill Bean. Well, actually, he's a good defender. We're going to leave Bill Bean in there, even though he can't hit lefties. We're going to have him in there because he plays good defense. And they got the lead. 1-5, and he's going to fly to right field for out number 1. If they were behind or the game was still tied, they would have pinch hit for him with Larry Herndon, but they didn't see the need to do so. Same with Sheridan. He doesn't hit lefties well either, but he's at 2 in the outfield, and they want good defensive outfielders when he got the lead. 1-3, and that's a fly to center. 2 down. And that'll send up Matt Noakes, the catcher. Noakes can hit lefties. He's not worried about lefties. 5-8, and this time he pops it up to first to end the inning. So that's going to be all for Black. He's going to go 1 inning. Give up the home run. No walks, no strikeouts. So the Tigers counter the 2 that Kansas City puts up in the top of the 7th with 3 of their own, a 3-run home run from Lou Whitaker. And now Jack Morris has a 6-3 lead to work with here in the 8th inning. This is his fatigue inning. Angel Salazar is your leadoff man, but he's going to be called back as Kansas City's going to start going to their bench and trying to spark something offensively as well. So on the computer, I got to bring in Whitaker to play second base after his pinch hitting. And he is there. All right, so we go to the bench for Kansas City for a pinch hitter. And they have Willie Wilson, Hal McRae, Larry Owen, Bill Pecota, Thad Bosley, or Buddy Biancalana. Those are the guys that are on the bench. So let's see who they might want to play. Bill Pecota will take over at short. He's not going to pinch hit, but he will. Actually, he might pinch hit. He's a .276 hitter. but they probably want to go to a lefty. So they're going to go to Thad Bosley. Thad Bosley will pinch hit in this spot right here. Thad Bosley. And then Pacoda will take over at shortstop in the bottom of the 8th. But right now it is Thad Bosley who will get the pinch hitting duties. Angel Salazar's day is done. So Bosley will pinch hit against Morris to start the top of the 8th. So let's bring Bosley in. Bosley on the replay is hitting 250s, 3 for 12, a homer and 3 driven in. 2-4 for Bosley is a ballpark single check, but it's only a 2. So he will ground to first base where Bergman puts it away, 1 down, and Bosley is retired. That'll send up Kevin Seitzer, followed by Frank White. 4-9, and as a fly to right field, Sheridan is there, 2 down. And Frank White is your batter. Jack Morris might be looking to go the distance because their bullpen is not very good. They don't have Willie Hernandez, obviously, not yet. So their best closer might be their starter. 5-2 is a fly to left. Hauled out there by Bean, and that's going to end the inning. Morris has gone 8 innings. He keeps full endurance because he gave up nothing. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still 6-3. That's all for Bud Black for the Royals, so they will need a new pitcher. And we'll see who they want to bring in. Right-hander, obviously, since they are. So they're going to bring in Dave Gumpert. They don't want to use Quisenberry or Farr when they're down. They want to save them for when they need them in a clutch situation. So it'll be Mr. Gumpert coming on. And Bill Pacoda will take over at short. So Gumpert is going to get the call. On the replay, Gumpert is 0-0 with a 4.50 earned run average. He's only thrown 2 innings, giving up 5 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. So Gumpert will be in here to try to keep the score where it is. And there's no activity in the Tiger bullpen. This is Jack Morris's game, apparently. So bottom of the 8th we go. Alan Trammell to lead it off against Mr. Gumpert. One four for Trammell's a ground ball to short, and that's the new shortstop, Pacoda. I tell you, if you come in for defensive replacement, the ball will find you. And that's a ground ball to short. One away. Here's Darrell Evans. He had a big double in that 3rd inning. Huge double. 5-5, and that's a walk. So Evans will walk. And as a DH, they will go ahead and pinch run for him. They will bring in Terry Harper to pinch run. He's a 14. So Harper will take over as the DH and as the runner. So Harper's a 14. He's not a good stealer, but he's a 14, so that helps on base hits. He won't be held, won't go anywhere, but it just gives him a little bit better advantage on a base hit. So here's Darnell Coles. I dropped one of my D6s, obviously, at a very inopportune time, and it went all the way under the table. I know that doesn't happen on that other channel, but it happens here once in a while. It happens when you get old. And for those that are curious, I will be 60 in April, so I guess that qualifies as old. 5-2, that's a ground ball, second base X. Runner not being held, so second baseman White will keep his 2 rating. 2 and a 6, it says. 2 and a 6 is a G2, so got a fielder's choice coming up unless there's an error. He's an E11. He's got to avoid 15, 17, and 18. And he does not. That's a 17. So that'll be an error. E1 on Frank White. No fielder's choice. It will be an E1. I'm sorry, E4. 1 base error. And that will put runners at first and second with 1 out. That's not Gumper's fault. That play should have been made, but it wasn't. So now that puts runners at first and second, one out. And that will send up Bergman. So I need to update the computer here with this pinch running so I can have the right people in the game. So Darrell Evans, pinch running Terry Harper. All right, and then Coles reaches on the one base error by Frank White. Now we're up to date for Bergman. Bergman 0 for 2 with a walk. 2-3 for Bergman. He will fly to right field. It's a big question mark. But with 2 outs already, Harper's in scoring position. No sense taking a chance and making the third out at third base, so they will just hold him there. And that'll bring up Chet Lemon. Lemon doubled his last time up. 5-3, and that's a ground ball pitcher X. He is an E0. He's a 3 E0, so he cannot make an error, but we do check his range. His range is a 3, so he's going to need to have a 4 or higher to get to this. And he does, so it's going to be an out to end the inning. So Gumpert pitches around the error. And we go to the 9th. Last chance for the Royals. They trail it 6-3. And like I said, Tiger bullpen is vacant right now. George Order is going to be called back. He has had a rough time of it so far. And Willie Wilson will lead off as a pinch hitter for George Orta. So Willie Wilson will pinch hit for Orta. Orta is 0 for 7 on the season, so the Royals need some offense if they can find it. Or they could go to Hal McRae, actually. Actually, they will go to Hal McRae, not Wilson. So it will be Hal McRae. Wilson was never announced, so he can come back. But it will be Hal McRae who will get the pinch hitting call. And he will stay in the game to play DH. They don't want to use Wilson because then Wilson's kind of stuck in the DH role, and they might want to use him as a center fielder. So they want some options, obviously. It's always good to have options when you can get them. Now it's got to find the card. For McRae. I know I just had it in front of me a second ago. I think it's down here. There it is. He was hiding behind Larry Owen. All right, so Hal McRae will do the pinch hitting. And McRae is hitting .375 and 8 at bats. So obviously, even though he's a righty versus a righty, he just has a better average and better success than Orta. So McRae pinch hitting in the 9th against Jack Morris. 5-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. Second baseman is Lou Whitaker, and Whitaker is a 2. 14, much better than the 4 Brookins was. So a 2 and a 14, he'll get to that, no problem. Now we got to worry about a Z20. Just needs to avoid 3, 13, 17, and 18, which he does, so it's a good play for Whitaker, and McRae is retired. 1 away for Beniquez, who homered his last time up. 6-11, that's a ground ball first base X. That is Bergman. He's a 2. 2 and a 19 is good. The error rating's a 12. He's got to avoid 3, 6, 9, 15, and 18. And he does. So it's a 3-1 put out as he flips to Morris covering. Morris, the veteran, knew to be there and expect that throw from Bergman. So last chance for the Royals. Danny Tartable did homer his last time up. He's had 2 home runs in the game. 3-3, but not this time. He grounds it to Trammell, and that's going to do it. Jack Morris, a complete game victory, 6-3 over the Kansas City Royals. Jack Morris goes all the way. And we'll get the totals from the box score. And wrap this game up. So Gubicza takes the loss. He is now 1-2 on the season. Morris with the win. He's now 1-3. Morris went 9 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, all of which were earned. No walks and 6 strikeouts. He gave up 3 solo home runs. Gumpert went 1 inning, did issue a walk, but nothing else. So the final line score, Detroit 6 runs, 5 hits, no errors. Kansas City 3 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. Kansas City left 3 on base. Detroit left 5 on base. Detroit improves to 7-9. Kansas City drops to 7-9. So both teams now are at 7-9. But the player of the game, Jack Morris, complete game victory. He was an 18-game winner in 1987, but he gets the complete game victory here by the score of 6-3. And they take care of the Royals, winning the opening game of the series. So there you have it for the first game of the April 25th date. The next game to be played on April 25th will be Baltimore at Milwaukee, and it will be Bill Wegman against Ken Dixon. That will be the next video in Strat-O-Matic. But in between that, you might see Game 2, the final game of the series in Cincinnati on History Maker Baseball against the Padres. I'm not sure which order I'm going to do it in. I haven't figured that one out yet. Probably do some recording. I am off on Tuesday, so I might do some serious recording on Tuesday to get some of these games in. Might throw a live one out there eventually too. Not sure. But that's going to do it from here. Hope you enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced. And again, Jack Morris, complete game victory, gets his first win of the season. And Mr. Gubicza drops to 1-2. Home runs in the game, Tartable his 4th and his 5th. Juan Beniquez his 2nd. And Lou Whitaker, the big 3-run home run in the bottom of the 7th. So you could argue Whitaker could be the player of the game, but he only had 1 at bat. But it was a clutch one off the lefty Bud Black. That 3-run homer was the difference in the bottom of the 7th after Kansas City had just tied the game. So there you go. That's going to do it from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.